Hey guys, today we're gonna talk about cards that help you reduce the rule of 40 cards deck. Normally today I'm just gonna base on cards from 2002 to 2005. Normally it's the OG area, that's why I have my Legend of Blue Eyes playmat. I don't think Konami has these cards in these new sets. Mostly everything is old fashioned. But let's go and explain. So the first card that I want to talk about is Upstart Goblin. Upstart Goblin was released on, I believe it's Metal Riders, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's Metal Rider. So this card it has a simple effect. Draw one card, then you open again 1,000 life points. So on a 40 card deck, let's see, you draw this one, you can activate immediately and draw one more card. So that means if you have 40 cards, you technically have 39. And if you play, I just did a spoiler, I'm sorry. If you play multiple copies, the only thing about this is when this card was released, we have Pot of Greed. Pot of Greed was better because it just activate, draw two cards. There is no downside and it's not like a 1-for-1. Also the opponent don't get life points. On this one, it's like a supposed to be side effect, but this card eventually over time got more like a power over the other cards because let's see, this is 2002. By 2020, 2021, a single activation of this, it was very risky because the decks got very fast and very combo loaded combos. Also, this card was not the only one card they can in your deck. When that card was released, we have cards like Terraforming, and we got cards like Reforce of the Army. They do the same thing at Upstart Goblin because technically a single activation of Upstart Goblin is gonna draw your card, so you are exchanging one card for another card. A single activation of Rora, Reforce of the Army, has a simple effect. Move one level 4 lower warrior type monster from your deck to your hand, then your deck is shuffle. So normally when that card was released, we got cards like Makura the Destructor, which is a warrior and it's a level 4. So it's a very powerful card. So in a single activation, out of 39 cards, you go out of 40, you go to 39, and you get a monster. Now the advantage that you get from the single activation depends on the monster that you search. With this card, you don't get advantage immediately. You have to rely on the whatever you draw, but actually the draw is more generic. Same thing, whenever you activate Terraforming, it's a single effect. Add one field spell from your deck to your hand. So when this card was released, we got cards like Necro Valley. So these cards' power rely on whatever they search. And this gas was more like activation. It was like a generic search. But technically, these cards feel more overpowered than this. But over time, this card was overpowered because you got more options to search because the decks were more like an example. Back in the original era, you don't have like that much consistency. Nowadays, Konami release sets like a Sky Striker, Flow Wanderies, you name it, Kashtira, any their elements. So they make the deck so like the core so consistent when you have a searcher, you have a starter, you have a boss, you have a follow-up, and you have a recovery. In the old school, you don't have that. So that's why these cards were more powerful in the old school versus this. But nowadays, this is more powerful than mostly this. Not really because there's still good field spell that you can search. And well, there is good monster that you can search. But the problem with this is a one copy. So it's not like that much you can do. So on the old school, this is a kind of bad thinner deck. It's not bad, it's just not that great. Let's put it aside. The second one card that continue deck is Turn the Dragon. This is a call for Metal Riders as well. It's a common. It's not like, funny enough, it's not like super ultra or rare. But this card was expensive and is still expensive for today because the original print, if you guys can see, first edition, MRD. So just to look for a single copy like this is like $50 or something like that. So this card is a level 5, it's a light monster, and it's a thunder. Even if it's a dragon, it's a thunder. So it has a simple effect. Discard this card from your hand to the grave to add up to 2 thunder dragons, meaning you can add 1 or 2, which is the maximum copies you can play is 3. So let's say in a single activation, you discard this one to the grave, and you can add up to 2 thunder dragons from your deck to your hand, then your deck is shuffle. This activation only is you can only activate this during your main phase. So this card has a restriction, meaning it has to be the main phase. Normally that's when you activate staff, but like an example, Obstacle Goblin can be triggered by another card that forces your activation. This one will not be the same situation. Let's say you activate 1, you send it to the grave, you look for 1, you activate again, send it to the grave, and you search the last one. So on a 40 card deck, technically you are 37 cards, because on a single activation you go back to 39, you go back to 38, and you drop this one, so it's 37 cards. Remind. Now, this is another application with this. When you activate once, you can choose to add 1 copy at a time, or you can add both copies at a time. Normally on that area we got cards just like Graceful Charity. This card was originally released on a starter deck Pegasus as a super. So if you decide to go by 2 copies, meaning, and you had this, now because a single activation charity or Graceful Charity, it's a -3 cards. Technically, let's see, you activate the card and it has an effect. Draw 3 cards from your deck, then discard 2 cards from your hand. Let's see, you activate this, is 1 card. You draw 1, 2, 3. You had to discard 2. The moment you had to discard 2, you see it's -3 cards and you only get 1 card. So technically, you just trade 1 for 1. Yeah, it's true that you can get to choose what to send and what not to send to the grave. But because this guy effect, let's see, you had these 2 cards. You activate this, goes to the grave, activate the effect, add 2 copies of Thunder Dragon. Now, whenever you activate Graceful Charity and draw 1, 2, 3, you can send the 2 copies that you have in your hand that you're not gonna need it, and have 3 fresh new cards. That's how people were playing this card back then. But also over time, this is not the only powerful spell that is -3. Actually, we have another one that is Magic Stone Excavation, original release from Champion Pack as a Ultra. Discard 2 cards, add 1 spell card from the graveyard to your hand. So imagine, let's see, you activate effect, you add 2 copies in your hand. Now you activate Magical Stone Excavation, you can discard 2 and recover any spell from the grave. Any spell. It can be Graceful Charity, it can be this, it can be anything that you want. But the only problem with this card versus Graceful Charity, Graceful Charity do not need setup, meaning you can activate without having nothing on the grave. This one you have to have a powerful spell that you want to retrieve from the grave. I know the card is kind of restricted, but to be honest, it's very worth it to pay the cost -3. Just to the sake to be able to retrieve a powerful spell like a Raigeki, Potogrid, Delinquent Duo, anything that you know is powerful you can activate. That's why I feel like Thunder Dragon Engine is better than the Upstart Goblin at some capacity, because the combos that you can do, but also because you can either feed the graveyard so you can special summon Chaos Monster like a Black Luster Soldier and Boy at the beginning, Chaos Emperor Dragon and Bottom at the end, or Chaos Sorcerer from that era. This one is more like a generic draw, but also giving 1,000 life points to your opponent is kind of bad, because remember, when you play a game, you still have a time, so you don't want to give life points to your opponent and lose because of time. The last card they can change the deck, it's a Toon card. This is card original from Turbo Pack. Tournament Pack, Tournament Pack. So Toon Table of Contents reads as follows. Simple effect. Add one card from your deck to your hand that includes Toon in its card name or name in manga rerun. So when you say card name, you have to look in the column. So this card can search any Toon card that has Toon, or it can search another copy of itself. So this is a huge advantage that the other cards don't have, meaning a single copy Toon Table of Contents can search for another Toon Table of Contents, and you can activate again because the effect is now once per turn, and search for another Toon Table of Contents and activate again. And on that area, the monster that you want to search, the simple and common from Star of the Pegasus was Toon Alligator. Even if this card is a reptile, it's not a Toon. But because this card searched by Toon in his card name, this guy has Toon Alligator on his card name, but it's not a Toon card. But it's searched by the name because this card searched only the name. This is the cheapest version because this is the Toon monster with the 1600 is a high defense. You don't need nothing on it. You can set it up for defense, or at the same time on this era you have a from Magic Ruler very expensive Blue Eyes Toon Dragon and very difficult to pull, which was a secret. So this is a level 8 Toon monster, and again it's a light and it's a dragon. Normally if you want to search this is to discard it for either if you combine this with cards like a Graceful Charity, where you can just activate these 3 times, search for this, activate this, and draw 3 cards, and then discard 2. You can always discard the Blue Eyes Toon Dragon because it's a light for a special summon of a Chaos monster, or you can just discard these as a cost for something. That's why cards like Toon Table of Contents, on my opinion, is way stronger than the other generic searchers. But also you have to remember when you play an engine like this, it's hard to get full use of this because sometimes you may draw the card that you want to search out of this. So it's better to play at least 2 searchers cards that you want to search. But that way, in case if you draw one or something, you still can search the other one, and still to thin your deck as much as possible. Also, over time, this card got better future, meaning this is a 2005 card. Now 2025, you can see these cards playing on Sky Striker because you can put as many copies as Toon Table Contents on the grave to search for Toon Cyber Dragon, and then get the extra bonus effect of a Sky Striker spells. Thunder Dragon did not age well because this guy is very specific on what he search. Also, Chaos decks are not very prevalent on the meta right now in 2025. But there is a Thunder Dragon support that came out, and this is only limited to that. But this card in the code format or the original format was useful because you can combo off with the Graceful Charity, or you can just tribute summon this one very hard, or revive with the Premature Burial for food for this card. Metamorphosis is a level 5, so you can get a level 5 fusion from the extra deck, which is fine. This card aged well too, like 2007 I believe, when you had like that Diamond Air, I think it was called like a Air Blade with Diamond Dude and Elemental Hero Stratos. You can dump this one and just copy the effect to just recover a spell without paying the cost. But this isn't today meta still very powerful because the majority of the cards are spell cards. All the powerful cards are spells on this meta. So this is still a powerful card, but the only problem is the activation is kinda hefty on cost. This card nowadays is it's generic, and it's like even giving 1,000 life points to the opponent. I think it's kind of hard because with the new rule where if your opponent has more life points and you're in a finish, both of you can lose, so you don't want to give life points to the opponent when you really try to kill it. So yeah, I think from all these cards, this is the better one. Thank you.